When the goddess inside me screamed in pain, my Mafia boss didn't try to cast her out. He pulled me against him, his fingers closing over the cursed bracelet on my wrist, and whispered, "This pain is ours now," smiling as we both convulsed in agony. He thinks he can control a storm. Subscribe and let's watch him try. The meeting takes place in the penthouse's private dining room, a sterile space of glass and chrome that overlooks the city's glittering nervous system. Jae-won sits with perfect stillness, a predator at rest, opposite the Oyabun of the Kudokai Syndicate. The Oyabun is an older man, his face a mask of brutal cordiality, his expensive suit unable to hide the violence coiled in his frame. The air is heavy, vibrating with the low hum of the server farms below and the weight of unspoken ultimatums. Aaliyah moves through this tension like a phantom, her waitress uniform a stark contrast to the tailored suits. Her only job is to be invisible, to pour the ridiculously expensive whiskey without a sound. Her heart hammers against her ribs, a frantic rhythm only she can hear. Her hand, usually so steady, gives a microscopic tremor. A single dark drop of ruby red wine escapes the bottle. It falls in what feels like slow motion, landing directly on the pristine snow-white cuff of the Oyabun's shirt. The world stops. The low hum of the servers seems to die. The Oyabun slowly lowers his gaze from Jae-hwan's face to the spreading crimson stain. He looks at it for a long moment, then his eyes lift to Aaliyah. They are flat dead, and in them she sees a detailed preview of her own excruciating death. All the air leaves her lungs. This is it, a stupid, clumsy mistake, and her life is forfeit. But Jae-won shows no emotion. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touches his lips. It is a smile of pure, chilling amusement. He slowly, deliberately unknots his own silk tie. It is a slash of dark silver, woven with a pattern so subtle it is almost invisible. He holds it out to her, not looking at her, but at the Oyabun. His voice is a soft murmur, yet it commands the entire room. "Clean it." The words hang in the air, an order more brutal than a death sentence. It is a choice between a quick end and a soul-crushing public display of ownership. Aaliyah takes the tie. The silk is cool and heavy, feeling like a living snake in her trembling hands. She sinks to her knees on the plush, sound-dampening carpet. The eyes of both men and their silent bodyguards are on her. She feels stripped bare, reduced to nothing more than an object. As she dabs at the stain on the Oyabun's cuff, her fingers brush the cold leather of his immaculate shoe. A shock, cold and sharp like a needle of ice, lances up her arm from the ancient brass bracelet she wears. A voice whispers in the deepest part of her mind, a torrent of clicks and ancient syllables that she somehow understands. A fool's pride, a master's chain. Touch the darkness, feel the rain. It is a warning and a prophecy. Her absolute submission at the dinner meeting does not earn her safety. It only confirms her value as a tool in Jae-hwan's eyes, and he is eager to test his new acquisition. This is why she now finds herself standing in the center of a transparent cube in the main area of the penthouse. The glass walls display holographic ads for corporations Jae-hwan secretly owns. He calls this her debut stage. He has had her dressed by a team of stylists, forcing her into a glittering, restrictive outfit that feels like a parody of a K-pop idol's costume. "You are my greatest asset, Aaliyah." His voice, disembodied and sterile, echoes from hidden speakers. A perfect fusion of the old world and the new. It is time for your first performance. The glass walls around her flicker to life, becoming screens that show the live faces of his most dangerous rivals, the Oyabun's smug face prominent among them. They are watching, judging. A distorted, glitch-heavy K-pop track, a song she recognizes from the restaurant, begins to pulse through the floor. The beat is a command. Perform, dance, be the perfect, obedient doll. She tries to force her limbs to move, to follow the rhythm, but her body is rigid with fury and humiliation. The collective weight of their leering, predatory stares is a physical pressure. The memory of kneeling on the floor, the feeling of the cold leather, the silent laughter in the Oyabun's eyes, it all comes rushing back. The ancient thing in her blood, the spirit of the storm goddess who bowed to no one, refuses to be a spectacle. It surges. The polite, manufactured music track shreds itself into a blast of high-frequency noise. The lights in the penthouse explode in a shower of sparks. The faces on the screens dissolve into screaming, pixelated static. Aaliyah feels a pain beyond anything she has ever known. A searing agony as if her very soul is being torn apart. The power is not just lashing out, it is tearing its way out of her. She is not a weapon being calibrated. She is a power plant melting down. She hits the floor, a scream finally ripping from her throat as her body becomes the epicenter of a chaotic primal force, a catastrophic anomaly in Jaehwan's meticulously controlled digital kingdom. She is on the cold, hard floor of the cube, her body caught in a violent seizure. The air crackles with energy. Red alert icons flash across every remaining functional screen in the penthouse. Rumi, his top tech specialist with the neon purple braid, sprints into the room, a medical injector in her hand. "Sir, her biosigns are critical. The energy output is frying the local grid. I have to sedate her now." She shouts, her professional cool shattered by raw panic. "We have to shut her down before she brings the whole system down." But Jaehwan moves with predatory speed, grabbing Rumi's wrist and shoving her back. His eyes are fixed on Aaliyah, and in their dark depths there is no concern, only a terrifying, feverish fascination. This is not a failure. This is a revelation. He drops to his knees beside her writhing form, ignoring the arcs of electricity that snap around her. This is the moment the story truly began. When the goddess inside me screamed in pain, my Mafia boss didn't try to cast her out. He pulled me against him, his fingers closing over the cursed bracelet on my wrist, and whispered, "This pain is ours now," smiling as we both convulsed in agony. His touch is not a comfort, it is an invasion. The pain intensifies tenfold, but it is no longer hers alone. It becomes a bridge, a violent data link between them. Through the searing connection of the bracelet, she feels his consciousness, cold, structured, and insatiably curious, pushing into her. He is not sharing her burden. He is hacking her soul, analyzing the raw, chaotic feet of the goddess to understand its architecture, to map its power. He wants to own the storm itself. An ancient, layered voice, both digital and divine, hisses from the static of the broken screens, no longer a whisper, but a clear, chilling verse. Brass and bone, a debt is paid, in wires deep, a storm is made. You seek to own what is not yours, and taste the tempest it adores. The cage you built will be your tomb, consumed within the shared gloom. The devastating truth crashes into Aaliyah with the force of a physical blow. He is not her protector. He is her ultimate violator. And in her moment of greatest agony, she has just given the devil the keys to her own hell. The connection snaps as violently as it formed. They are thrown apart by a final concussive blast of energy. The penthouse is plunged into an eerie silence, the only sound their harsh, ragged breathing. The emergency lights flicker on, casting long, distorted shadows. Aaliyah lies on the floor, feeling scoured out, an empty vessel. The battle is over, and she has lost. But as the echoes of the shared agony fade, she realizes she is left with more than just emptiness. In that forced, brutal intimacy, she felt something she was not meant to. She felt the core of Jaehwan. Behind the layers of control, the ambition and the cruelty, she touched a sliver of his own buried chaos, a chilling, profound fear. He is terrified of this power, not because it can destroy his empire, but because it is the only thing in the universe he can feel, but cannot quantify, predict, or truly own. That fear is her weapon. That fear is the key. Slowly, every muscle screaming in protest, she pushes herself up to a sitting position. He is already on his feet, straightening his now rumpled designer jacket, trying to reassemble his mask of perfect control. He watches her, expecting her to be a broken, weeping mess. Instead, she lifts her head and meets his gaze. Her eyes are not filled with tears, but with the calm, ancient light of a storm that has passed and is waiting to strike again. She does not speak. She does not need to. He sees the shift in her, the transfer of power. The dynamic of owner and property has been irrevocably shattered. She is no longer a beautiful cage for a beast he intends to break. She is the beast, and she has seen his soul, and she knows he is afraid. He takes a single, almost imperceptible step back. It is not a retreat, but it is a concession. It is a tectonic shift in their war. He has not freed her, but he can no longer look at her as a thing. She is a rival queen in his kingdom of one. Their cruel, passionate, and terrifying romance has just begun. He tasted her power, but did it make him stronger or just more obsessed? Let me know your theories in the comments and share this with anyone who loves a dangerous romance.